Thanks. So if you don't know me, my name's Louis Arciniaga, and I am currently a graduate student at the U of A studying material science and engineering. My involvement with SHIP has been since my freshman year in undergrad, where I was, starting to get the hang of it, going to club meetings, doing stuff like that. And over the years, it's progressed to, as many of all shippers know, it's a family kind of thing. Your second home away from home. And I think, running for treasurer, I feel kind of not obligated, but I have a good perception of the role, as I've been in many fundraising committees all the way back to when David was treasurer, Alexis, Alejandra currently. And I think, you want someone who's really responsible, someone who's punctual, who's, kind of accountable. And I hope that through the years, going through different events, through different kinds of, outreach programs, you guys have seen me, understood that, I can be that guy that can be relied upon. And I know, coming from past years where it wasn't Zoom, the responsibilities of treasurer comes down to, you know, getting food, as well as spring fling, in-person events, all those things kind of, have to be accounted for with the normal year. And I'm fully prepared to be able to help in those, as well as execute those kind of things, working with the e-board. I'll be completely honest, I've run before for e-board, never gotten it, but it's always been a good experience, always being a member. It's never really made me shy away from the club. I think my junior year, I was kind of pleasantly surprised that I got, I think it was upperclassman of the year. It really meant a lot to me. And I thought, this is the kind of club that I always want to have an impact on. And I saw the e-board position open, and I was like, well, might as well go for it again, right? I think I'll keep it short and sweet. That's all I have for you guys.
Thank you, Louis. And with that, we'll open it up for one or two questions. Great speech, by the way.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Let's see, real quick. One of the things that we've always had issues with, if things go back to person, is getting into the spring fling. So, do you have any ideas on how we can maybe, hopefully, be able to get a booth and be part of spring fling if it's in person, obviously?
Yeah, and I think with spring fling, it's really about starting really, really early. I know in past years where we kind of, messed up was we started a little bit too late with the paperwork and stuff like that. I'd kind of rely on, David and Alexis for help with that. I think, especially David, both of us being grad students, we kind of understand a little bit more about how the university works, just because we get to see the ins and outs of, professorship and kind of stuff like that. And spring fling was something that when we got not booted, but when we got snubbed from it, I know a lot of members were kind of upset. That's kind of the goal, and we have to make sure that happens, because that's a great funding source. So it's something I'd have to start real early and get in contact with whoever is a part of that. I know it's ASUA, that kind of is in person if we go back to in person, and I kind of know how to get to them.
Great, thank you.
And thank you. One more question for Louis, if any.
Hi, Louis. Really good speech, by the way. Let's say if there's ever a case where we have extra funds, how are you going to go by allocating that so you can make sure that it goes where it needs to be?
So with extra funds, I always think it has to go back to the members, or at least to the club as a whole. So I know with scholarships for national convention and stuff like that, that's been very beneficial. But we always got to plan for the future. So I kind of have to think of it in a mindset of present and future. Leave something for the next treasurer, but as well as leave something for the club members as a whole. I know the club and in person has a greater budget, but there's just different ways to get around using the excess money. I would hope we've saved up with everything being virtual this year, so there's a good cushion. But scholarships as well as in-person events are going to kind of factor into that. So it's kind of more looking at the books with a keen eye and kind of understanding that things do cost, and we just have to be kind of cognizant of that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Louis. And And good job on the speech, by the way. Round of applause to Louis. And that wraps it up for treasurer position.